SummerSlam was August 2nd and 3rd, a buy one get one free extravaganza where CM Punk actually main evented. Bad news for Punk though, Seth had other plans. Fast forward a little bit and Mexico put on a banger of a show when AAA presented Triple Mania, their biggest show of the year. I go by King Jess and this is Word Around the Ring, the only podcast more mentally unstable than the Wyatt Six. There's a lot to get through, so let's get right to it. Both nights were held from the MetLife Stadium in Jersey, and night one kicked off with Jay and Roman versus Braun and Bronson. This match is going to get a 3 out of 5 Cardi B's for me. The big boys Braun and Bronson dominated early as Roman was taken out pretty much from the start, and then the Jay ass whooping began. And boy did he get his ass whipped. It pretty much took up the whole match, so Roman rallied back in. But once the OTC was back in charge, he changed the tides, and him and Jay even got to pull off a 3D, which was totally fucking random. Overall, the match was okay and somewhat of a warm start for night one, which we're going to see as a pattern here shortly. I will take a moment to hate though. Jey Uso had no right hitting an encore during a match, and I hope that dumb shit was a one-time only occurrence.
Against opponents the caliber of Roman Reigns and Jey Uso was simply startling. The bar has been raised.
Well, I think it's startling the fact that these two are actually in the ring together as a team after everything they've went through in their career over the past number of years.
And Jey Uso wants an encore. He wants to run it back. Get up, Cole! Why am I yelling at you?
And all Roman Reigns is doing is barking at Heyman out here. Meanwhile,
other highlights included Braun Breaker singing with the fans. I thought that shit was hilarious. And how can I not mention the strap readjust? Talk about a SummerSlam moment.
And Breaker now turns his attention to Jey.
Breaker doesn't even look hurt. He doesn't look exhausted. He just looks angry.
He was speared through a barricade just a few moments ago.
Paulie was also out there the whole match, rocking the Shula Follow, which I appreciated. And that pretty much wraps up match one. Up next, we had the women's tag straps up for grabs when Team Queen Bliss challenged the champs Raquel and Roxanne. This match is also getting a 3 out of 5 Cardi B's. While I enjoyed this match, nothing really happened besides the right team winning. We all knew that once Liv left, Roxy was just a temporary replacement till they figured out what to do. Of course, they pulled that stupid shit at Mania and had them lose the belts only to win them back immediately the next night, so I understand not wanting to strip them off the cuff again so soon, but we all knew it was coming. Raquel and Roxy started off hot here and took control, isolating Alexa and working her for a good part of the match. That's not to say Alexa didn't give them hell while being trapped in there 2-on-1. Charlotte came back strong on the hot tag, and I gotta say, her and Rodriguez had a solid exchange. Charlotte being more Raquel's size lends itself for Raquel to go all out, and it's a nice change of pace from what we've seen from her as of late. Towards the end of the match, there was a misfire when Alexa accidentally struck Flair when going for Raquel. Flair and Raquel were arguing in the ring when Alexa pulled up from behind Raquel, arm cocked and ready to go, but just as she swung, Roxy pulled Raquel and Bliss struck Flair.
Cover on Raquel to win the titles and a kick out at 2 by Rodriguez.
Of Raquel. This is breaking down. Referee losing control.
Oh, and Roxanne just saved Raquel. Bliss was trying to bless Raquel in the back of the head, and she inadvertently took out her partner.
This caused a little friction within the team when it came down to the finish, as Bliss had Roxy and his sister Abigail clearly going for the win when from the corner pops out Charlotte looking menacingly in Bliss's direction. Bliss was shook, probably thinking Flair came for payback, but at the very last second we see Flair say something along the lines of "not looking at you," and then delivers a big boot to Raquel, who looked to be rushing Alexa from the other side.
And now looking for Sister Abigail. And Charlotte with a boot to Raquel.
Alexa hits Sister Abigail and on Roxy, and we have new champs. I actually kind of enjoyed this match more than I thought, so I'll bump that score up to a 3.5. Up next, we had Sammy versus Cross, and I gotta say, the more I think about this match, the more it pisses me off. I'm giving this match a 3 out of 5 Cardi B's, and those 3 are solely because I like Cross. I really don't want to talk about this match. Don't get me wrong, it was good, but I'd rather talk about something else that matters. And that's the blatant misuse of Killer Cross. What a fucking damn shame it is that a superstar makes a hot return, gets benched for most of his contract, yet manages to get himself over, and you can't find a single thing for him to do? You can't think of a single reason to offer him a new contract. Or if you did, one that actually made it worth it for him to stay? I've been following Cross since his days in FSW. Not only has his in-ring work and promo skills increasingly gotten better over the years, but he's probably one of the most creative superstars storyline-wise we've had in the WWE since Bray. He has the creativeness and the imagination to bring these characters and ideas to life that some would say are too far out, yet work. And guess what? The fans eat it up. During the post-show, Triple H joined the panel, and guess what? The fans yet again made their voices heard and clearly chanted, "We want Cross. We want Cross." Why, you ask? Because he lost that night and his contract was up on the 11th. We were in the dark and we wanted answers. And what did Triple H do? He turned around and said, "You want Brock? You got him."
It makes it unpredictable. It's you have him. You've got him. Yeah, you want Brock, you've got him.
I'll be nice and I'll leave it at this. Cross, go out there and make yourself undeniable. Make all the noise you can. Go to Japan. Go to Mexico. Shit, come back to FSW. And show them why it's their loss and not yours. Up next on the line, we had Tiffy Time versus the Storm herself. This match lasted 7 minutes, and this recap won't even make it to 30 seconds. I'm giving Tiffy versus Jade a 3.5 Cardi B's out of 5. It was definitely Tiffy time, and Jade was just a title defense to add to her record. This ended when Jade hit Tiffy with Jaded, only for Tiffy to kick out and clap back with the prettiest moonsault and retain her championship.
Top rope, she doesn't want to be up there. Jade Cargill now. Tiffany Stratton with a great counter.
Just took too long for Cargill to get set there.
Prettiest moonsault ever. Tiffany Stratton retains.
Moving on, we had the celebrity match of the decade when Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre faced off against Randy Orton and Jelly Roll. The boys are getting a 3 out of 5 Cardis as well. Look, we all knew Randy wasn't missing Mania. I just didn't think he'd be taking up the PR match duties this late in his career. In all seriousness, for all the shit I talked about this match, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. That's not to say it was great either. The WWE guys did great. That's all solid talent. But when you add a guest to the dynamic, that talent now has to readjust and it hurts the match overall. That's why I wish this would have gone to talent in the back that could have used this match to elevate themselves, but that's just all noise now. This match happened, Jelly did okay, at best, but he performed like I thought he would, so why would I act surprised?
A lot of weight, not quite enough to throw that T-bone suplex or whatever.
Yeah, but
Logan was trying. Oh!
Jelly with a slam in the zone. And now, paying some homage to the Nates with an elbow delivered and a kick out by Paul.
Last up for night one was Punk versus Gunther for the heavyweight championship. While we all knew this was going to be a barn burner, the elephant in the room still was, will Seth cash in? I'm giving this match a 4 out of 5 Cardis. I really did enjoy this match in its entirety. Punk thought his hype could carry him through an ass whooping, but Gunther decided to show up as Walter and beat this man like he owed him money.
To the face. Punk now top rope and right to the hamstring.
Chop to the hamstring. Who does that?
And now a chop to the back. And Punk's in trouble now.
Yeah, you can block your chest all you want. You can't block the back. You can't block the hamstring.
Gunther landed a barrage of chops and powerbombs to an old tired Punk, but in the end, CM Punk blessed Punk on this night because he mustered up the strength of the Vatican and landed back-to-back GTSs on Gunther, pinning him and finally declaring himself a world champion. For all of 5 minutes and 10 seconds, as the Messiah, the visionary, the man of a million outfits, Seth Rollins crippled his way out there with Paul Heyman and pretended to leave a threat to Punk that once he was ready, he would be coming for him. But as Seth walked away and Punk sighed a breath of relief, Seth stopped, dropped the crutches, and at this point, me and the crowd are just losing our shit. Turns around, undoes the leg brace, and in classic Seth fashion, books it towards the ring. Punk didn't even get a chance to see his side plates.
Oh my God.
Ladies and gentlemen, Seth Rollins is cashing in his Money in the Bank briefcase.
You gotta be kidding me! Punk is defenseless! Punk is helpless! A stomp the Punk! A cover by Rollins! Oh my God, Rollins is the World Heavyweight Champion!
Seth used the briefcase to handle Punk before cashing in, loading up the stomp, and masterfully pulling off another heist of the century. The show went off the air with the Oracle faction on top, ultimately setting us up for another great Seth title run. With that, night one is done, and I gotta say, besides the main event, this night was kind of mid. But we had a whole night of champions coming up on Sunday, so let's dive into those. First up, we had a heater when Naomi defended her title against my girl Io and Rhea Hogan. This match is getting a 4 out of 5 cardies from me, starting off strong here. This started off great when Naomi had a sick moment with her dad as he played her down the ring for this entrance, and y'all know I'm a sucker for a special entrance, especially at a big show like SummerSlam. Naomi was wilding in this match, definitely letting loose on all the heel tactics. One of my favorites was the Rhea thumb bite. Hadn't seen something like that in a regular triple in a while. Now looking back at it, she for sure put on a performance because she knew she was leaving for a while, but we'll get there. As soon as the bell rang, these ladies went to war, from biting thumbs to Io power slamming Rhea onto Naomi. This was chaotic in the best way possible.
To the apron, she looks down at the champion. Io Sky back to her feet. Io Sky now looking for a sunset flip power bomb. Rhea Ripley hanging on, and now Io delivers a power bomb to Naomi.
In the end, Rhea pulled off a riptide onto Io, making it seem like Ripley had it won, but Naomi rushed in last second, rolled up Rhea to retain her belt.
Ripley with a headbutt. Now Rhea's got Io in position. Rhea Ripley from the second rope. Riptide! Avalanche Riptide! Stacks her up for the win. Naomi now from behind. Rolls up Rhea. Naomi retains the title.
Again, this was great, and I originally wanted to retain anyways. What we didn't see coming was her announcement a few weeks later. A few weeks ago, Naomi was set to face Io on Raw for the run back, but out of nowhere, it was announced that Naomi wasn't medically cleared to compete, so the match would be off. Many speculated that it was an accident on her electric suitcase, as she posted a video where in the final few frames, it looked like she had taken a fall, but it cut off just before we could see how bad it was. Big shock when we find out the next episode of Raw that she's actually not hurt, but that her and Big Jim Netflix and chilled their way into making the next OTC.
But thanks to Big Jim, he like to Netflix and chill, if you know what I mean. guess the bloodline continues, baby!
With that being said, from all of us here at Watr, we would like to congratulate the couple and say we can't wait for that comeback, Naomi. Up next was a huge match between some of the biggest current tag teams in the E. We had the Wyatt Six versus DIY versus Street Profits versus Motor City Machine Guns versus Fraxium versus the new team of Andrade and Phoenix. I'm giving this match a 4.5 out of 5 Cardi B's. I had so much fun watching and rewatching this match. I wouldn't even know where to start recapping this. I feel like even Rob would have struggled. So the best I can do is say, go watch it. This shit was crazy. There were table spots. Candice LeRae got involved, and her husband Johnny Gargano tipped her ladder into an outside ladder spot. It was pure chaos.
Poison Pixie, Ciampa now drops Shelly. And Candice is close to grabbing the titles. Candice is close to grabbing the titles.
With DIY playing guard on the floor, if she throws them the title, I think they've got it.
Oh my God! Holy!
In the end, the Wyatt Six retained, and I'm expecting it's due to their involvement with HHN this year. That's Hollywood Horror Nights at Universal. As it was announced that Universal will be hosting its second WWE haunt this year, and it's themed around the Wyatt Six. Wild match though. Definitely check it out. Up next was what Rob would say was my hypest moment of the night. Giving this match a 3.8 Cardis out of 5 off the back. We had the Pride of Ireland, Becky Lynch, facing off against Bird Girl Lyra Valkyria for the women's IC title, with the stipulation that if Lyra lost, she couldn't challenge for it as long as Bex held it. I hated the stipulation, because it soft locks Lyra if she loses to Becky. But I also didn't think WWE would be so stupid to go that route. But hey, that's just me trying to still have faith in them. And for that, well, that makes me stupid. Because of course they decided to push this overrated hack. Not gonna lie though, the match wasn't bad. It looked incredibly painful on Lyra's side.
We fans here.
God, how tough is Becky Lynch taking on 2 women effectively?
Oh God! Where the hell did she come from?
The peripateia to the back of the head of Lynch.
But like always in true WWE fashion, they ran the good old interference play. Bayley, given yet another chance to be in the title contention, decided she needed to go help Lyra, and by help I mean strike her and cost her any further title shots while Becky is queen. I just hope and I pray that this reign isn't long, because I don't know how much more I can take of her on my screen. And I'm not even going to get into the Becky Nikki shit. That's a whole nother headache. Fourth on the card was a match I was actually really excited for. We had the leader of the MFT, Solo Sikoa, versus the Samoan Werewolf, Jacob Fatu, for the US title in a steel fucking cage. These boys are getting a 3 out of 5 Cardi B's. If you're a fan of Jacob like we are, you know that Jacob loves jumping off structures. It's almost a trademark of his indie run. So I was excited to finally see him in one-on-one competition within a cage. But I had one worry going into this match. Solo isn't really known for being a high flyer. If Jacob's going to show off in the extreme measures he's willing to take that cage, I knew it wasn't going to be against Solo. And Andrade? Maybe. A Phoenix? Sure. But Solo? No chance. And I was right. This match had all the possibilities to be a great match within the parameters that they had to work in, but it all just fell flat. Even the ending felt like they didn't have much care for how it was executed, which sucks because both of these talents are some of my favorites as of recent. Solo has really found himself in the comedic heel role and thrives in it, and Jacob is him. He was great on the indies, he's great on the E, and I expect nothing but greatness going forward from him. But when it comes to these bloodline versus bloodline matches, well, they really can't figure it out just yet.
No gas, no brains that really set Jacob Fatu over the edge, and now Jacob. Oh my, oh man, Solo can't believe it. Fatu just bounced off the cage.
A human being reacts to steel like that.
This sadly ended another interruption, but if I'm being honest, I expected that from this match. What I didn't expect was for it to end so suddenly when the MFT rushed in, jumped Jacob, cuffed him to the cage, and Solo fell out of the ring, retaining his US title. That to me is lazy, it's boring, and it's a missed opportunity to showcase Jacob and how far he's willing to go within a cage. The co-main event for night 2 was another match I was hyped for. It's no secret that we're huge fans of both these superstars, so of course I'm talking about Dom versus AJ Styles for the IC title. This match gets 4.5 cardies out of 5. We got this started right with an amazing tribute to Eddie Guerrero from AJ Styles. Styles came out with not only a lowrider, but tribute gear to match resembling the same gear Eddie wore to Dom's custody match. Almost brought a tear to my eyes, to be honest. Didn't expect much from Dom's entrance, seeing as I knew if he had anything special ready, he would most likely be saving it for Triple Mania. But if you would have told me a few years ago I would be expecting a banger from Dom and AJ, I would have called you crazy and claimed nepotism. But God, this kid really has evolved into a superstar of his own. These two went at it the entire match, neither side backing down. Even got to do a tribute to Eddie's cheating antics of the past.
And then pounce with the steel.
Oh, tossing it to AJ. Talk about some lion cheating and stealing. And AJ Styles turns it around.
Stop it. That's not what happened, referee.
Vintage Eddie Guerrero here.
But just as AJ was getting the upper hand, while AJ had Dom in an ankle lock, Dom managed to slip the boot off. Causing AJ some confusion, Dom took the opportunity to get up, and as he did, AJ went on the attack, accidentally striking the ref as Dom just managed to slip away. AJ, now trying to check on the ref, was just distracted enough for Dom to grab his boot, smack AJ, and pin him for the victory.
Boot in hand, the official. Oh, boot to the face of Styles.
The referee missed the entire thing, covering up in the corner. I think AJ's out cold here.
Dirty Dom now up to the top rope with a frog splash. Mysterio covers, wins.
Let's be honest, Eddie would have been proud of that. I enjoyed this match, and whenever they want to run it back, I'm all for it. And for our main event, we had the GOAT, freshly off a face turn, and the ultimate face of a new age for the undisputed WWE title. Of course, I'm talking about John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. We kicked it off with my wishes coming true, and John Cena hitting us with the classic Titantron and chatting with Stu as he ran down the ramp. My hero was back, and I was ready for it. And I can promise you that Big Rob is punching a wall somewhere hearing that. This match had it all, from Cody Paul driving John to John AAing Cody announce table to announce table. Shit, we even got John to do the Cody entrance with Cody on his shoulders, only for John to AA toss his ass a quarter of the ramp down. That shit looked like it hurt. This match was wild, I'm telling you.
It's not going to be pretty, whatever it is called.
Street fight rules. Cena can do anything he wants here. He's got Cody Rhodes up on his shoulder. He's making his way toward the Spanish announce table. Cena with an AA to Cody through the table.
Oh, and the ropes? Unhooked at some point. I'm telling you, they were wilding out there.
Cody up. John Cena with an avalanche AA to the middle of the ring to retain the championship. Cody kicked out.
Ultimately, Cody hit John with 3 crossroads, cementing John as the last undisputed champion and crowning Cody our new WWE champion. I loved this match. John gave us a show. And dare I say, it almost felt like the old John in certain pockets of the match. Either way, Cody is king once again, but the night was not over. While John was in the middle of the ring soaking in the crowd, finally as a face, well,
What?
out of nowhere we hear Brock Lesnar's music hit and that crowd went bananas. And then Brock proceeded to make my hero his bitch and lay him out with a single F5.
This is a man built for one thing.
And now Lesnar into the ring. And Brock Lesnar with John Cena on his shoulders. Brock Lesnar with an F5 to John Cena.
Look, there's obvious complications that come with Brock Lesnar's return. I won't lie. I popped for the return, but it also left me very confused. Was WWE really willing to sweep everything under the rug just because it's Brock Lesnar? I can't say I'm with the decision, but if Cena's running back all the classics before his leave, I would imagine WWE would like to run Cena versus Brock one last time. As of now, Brock is yet to show up for work as usual, and it looks like it'll be that case till after Paris, as Cena is set to face Logan Paul at that show. With that, Night 2 is set, and SummerSlam is officially reviewed. For Night 2, I gotta say I enjoyed it a lot more than Night 1, and for that reason, it gets a 4 out of 5 cardies from me. And as for the PLE in general, I'd say I'd also give it a 4. For the most part, I had fun watching, and having 2 nights did make it feel bigger, but I don't know if it was all for the best. Before we get to the end of the show and the overview for Triple Mania, I want to plug our other show that just started. Cinema Culture Club, your one-stop shop for everything and anything pop culture, a show where I and my friends Julio and Pollo yap about it all. Movies to TV shows, video games to books, the club is ready to discuss it. This Monday, we will be reviewing 2 movies alongside with discussing a few shows, so if you want a sneak peek of what we'll be talking about, make sure to check out our socials at Cinema Culture Club on everything. Now, finally, a quick take on what I would say is a banger of a show. AAA put on their WrestleMania this past weekend and airing Triple Mania live and free on YouTube. They made it a big deal for us to know that. Just wanted to make sure y'all remembered. We kicked the show off with the Copa Bardal, a Royal Rumble style match, just shorter. Instead of 30 entrants, they have 14, which was kind of nice. I was expecting to not know a majority of the entrants, but to my surprise, it was stacked. Big time players like La Parka, Aerostar, Mecha Wolf, Microman, Octagon Jr., and even Pimpinella showed up to loud crowd reactions. 2 notable returns, one being Otis. I feel like Otis has been off camera for what feels like forever, so it was a nice surprise to see him return and even have a moment with the one and only Pimpinella.
Caballero Otis es un caballero y entre los dos se llamaba Taurus. Afuera la bestia dorada. Momentazo que estamos viendo. Esto se tiene que celebrar bien. Con un beso. Con un besito, chiquito para Otis. Que dice, no, vamos a seguir con lo nuestro. Sí, es mejor. Concentrémonos en combatir.
The second being Omos, the ex-bodyguard of one AJ Styles and a man that makes The Undertaker hard at his mere mention, made his AAA debut and chucked out Microman in true lucha fashion.
Creo que es como demasiado ponerle al universo. No, cuidado, Ay Dios. Cuidado, ¿qué va a hacer? Con la altura que está allá arriba y el frío seguramente ya se congeló. Piensa bien lo que vayas a hacer y allá va no. Cojan a su
Almost went on to win the whole Copa, and to be honest, even when it was the last 4, I didn't have him winning, so good for him. Let's see what he can do with a return to the spotlight. Up next was my match of the night. We got El Mesías versus El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. This match had history, and if you were listening to the Spanish announce table, they let you know about it. Mesías has been here for a minute, let me tell you. I was a kid when this man was getting his first real push. He also had an amazing run on Lucha Underground as Mil Muertes, and guess what? To this day, he can still go. And back in the day, him and Wagner Sr. had real beef, a historic rivalry. So seeing it be revived with Wagner Jr. was kind of mind-blowing. Wagner started off hot, but early on, Mesías had help from ringside as Dorian got involved and started egging on Wagner Sr., who was ringside for this match, causing a distraction for Wagner Jr. There was also an awkward moment where Conan claimed Wagner Sr. was calling him out, and he continued to do this throughout the entire match. Just odd behavior from him. Dorian got involved once again, this time striking Wagner Jr., ultimately getting Sr. involved. This allowed Wagner Jr. to get the upper hand, hitting Macias with a super driver into a Wagner driver and winning the Latin American Championship.
Que está tratando de finiquitar las acciones, ya lo tiene desde las alturas. Hacia ahí está subiendo el hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. Está tomando al Mesías en todo lo alto desde las alturas. ¡Qué super play!
Y hay más,
Pero
y hay
no
más,
solamente se
y hay
queda
más.
en eso,
Creo que quiere
sino
buscar el
que
driver,
hay
el driver,
más.
el driver, el driver.
Wagner Driver.
Es todo por el Mesías. Una, dos, tres. Lo vencí.
Senior even got to join him in the ring for a victory lap shortly after, and again, just crazy to see this come full circle for them. Next, we have the Judgment Day versus Team Iguana, another fun match. The Judgment Day isn't afraid to get silly, so going up against Team Iguana was a no-brainer. We know who the Judgment Day is, so let's break down who Team Iguana consisted of. First up, we had Mr. Iguana, of course, really hot right now and getting a major push. Second, Niño Hamburguesa. He just won El Rey of the Reyes this year, and he was also named in the names of talent WWE had their eye on in AAA. And last, Lola Vice, who has been having a massive run ever since the partnership with AAA. Another match that's a little hard to recap, but it did have some key moments. One being La Yesca meeting Demonito, Finn Balor's puppet. I don't know about y'all, but this cash grab shit is getting ridiculous.
De vuelta, pero se va a medir en contra de Finn Balor, que tiene cara de pocos amigos. Está enseñando eso. ¿Qué es lo que trae Finn Balor? No lo sabe. ¡Oye!
No.
¿Qué es eso?
Sí. Es un Little Demon.
¿Qué? ¡Es el demonito!
JD, the ace of the Judgment Day, had a good exchange of chain wrestling with Hamburguesa, but JD just couldn't overcome his size in the match. Hamburguesa kept the tradition of lucha being silly, though, by throwing a burger towards Finn Balor at a certain point, which Finn would fall for and take a bite of, later tweeting that it actually made him sick. Chaos broke loose when a female from AAA tried to interfere, but only managed to chase off Roxy. Raquel, though, she decided to actually show up, and Tejana bombed Lola inside the ring, doing enough damage to pick up the win. To be honest, I thought Team Iguana had this in the bag, but it was nice to see them do something different here and have the heels go over even when the popularity of the other team was a lot bigger. Fourth on the card, we had the AAA tag titles up for grabs as WWE's very own Los Garças defended against the massively popular duo of Pagano and Psycho Clown. This was a fun match, and I definitely recommend giving it a watch. Some notable moments. The missed chair moonsault by Pagano was crazy. Psycho Clown ripped his mask off, or a part of it mid-match to reveal a skin-like a mask underneath. It was wild. You definitely got to go check it out. Los Garzas double pressed Pagano through a table, which was wild, and then Los Garzas were about to suplex Clown through a table in the corner when mid-move Pagano spears him through that exact table.
Así viene, pero lanza, Dios mío. ¿Qué lanza de Pagano? ¿Qué acaba de hacer Pagano?
Pagano proceeded to wrap Berto and barbed wire he just randomly had, and Clown hit him with a Spanish fly to reclaim the titles.
De esta manera, Berto, que está envuelto en el alambre de
¡Oh! La mosca voló. Para el uno, para el dos. Tenemos nuevos campeones en pareja de AAA, no puedo creerlo.
These clowns really got something cooking, and I'm excited to see what they can accomplish with all the new spotlight on them. Next up was the Conan Glazing Hour, and I don't really have much to say about it. Ray came out to handle his induction to the Hall of Fame and sat in the corner for the entire thing, occasionally being referred to and pointed at. They aired a cute promo on the legacy of Conan, and then Conan himself took the stage. And everything was chill until someone decided to heckle him during his speech. And let's just say, Conan didn't appreciate it.
Soy hijo de Triple A. Estoy hablando, güey. Ten un poco respeto. Chinga tu madre.
He fired back at the fan a few times, so Ray told him to ignore it. And then he wrapped it up, and that was pretty much about it. The co-main event starred one of my current favorite female talents down in AAA, and it was for the AAA Reina de Reinas Championship. We had Flammer defending her title against Natty and Fabi Apache, and this match was solid. Natty has been on a killer run ever since popping up in Bloodsport, and she's also been used a lot down in AAA, just like Lola, so I was excited to see her up against Flammer in this match. Apache I wasn't too familiar with, but was a fan by the end. One thing I did see was people losing their mind over the crooked ref. It might be a new idea for WWE to have a ref this blatantly crooked, but it's always been a thing in Lucha. And honestly, it doesn't taint the art. For the most part, it's all done with the story in mind. But I did love seeing WWE fans react to it on X. Y'all are mad funny.
Ha caído la campeona. Puede ser todo. 1, 2, 2.
Todos los problemas. ¿Cuántos? A ver, te tenemos que dar un contexto.
Por favor.
Flammer did retain though with the help of the ref, and I gotta say, I'm not mad at it. Like I said, typically when the ref gets involved, it's for the story.
Mira la campeona. Flamer. 1, 2, 3. Se robó la victoria. Se robó la victoria, más la ayuda del árbitro, por supuesto, pero fue muy inteligente en su momento de entrada al cuadrilátero.
And if Natty wants to run this back at some point, well, I wouldn't be mad at that either. Last up was the main event, a true test of defense for AAA, as their main title is being hunted by not one, not two, but 3 WWE superstars. I'm talking, of course, about the Fatal 4-Way for the AAA Mega Championship. El Hijo de Vikingo versus Grande Americano versus Dirty Dom versus Dragon Lee. Right off the back, Americano wins Best Entrance as he's saying Cielito Lindo in Spanish the entire walk to the ring. I will say the audio on the band, I wish the audio on the band was a bit better, but overall a classic intro to win intro or entrance of the night. Vikingo did a Goldberg style entrance where he even had Ray bless him before coming to the ring, which I thought was mad disrespectful seeing as Dom is in this match.
Va a llegar. Hace apenas una semana disputó este título justamente en la capital del país, aquí mismo, Gimnasio Olímpico Juan de la Barrera. Y hoy, con el apoyo de Rey Mysterio 619.
Dom came out with his grandfather's vest, which was a cool tribute, and he was even rocking his own Mysterio mask. As for Dragon Lee, well, decisions were made, and that's me putting it nicely. This boy came in his best toothless cosplay and even had the wings to rival him. Oh, and he even had a tail. This match was a banger, not much more to say. Every one of these boys came to play and showed out in phenomenal fashion. Dom had an Americano moment where he used his mask to hide a steel plate and deliver headbutts, but Payback is a bitch because a masked man ran into the ring just as Dom was going to win it all and hit him with the Styles Clash. Yes, AJ Styles traveled to Mexico to ruin Dom's day, and I'm all for it.
Dom lo hace, Dom. Se lanza con plancha Zapito para engancharlo. 1, 2 y 3. Oye, está metiendo. ¿Quién está entrando? ¿Qué es esto? ¿Quién es esto?
Es el enmascarado del ojo. ¿Quién es?
Esto es un
desenmascara golpe sobre el rostro. Y ahora lo tiene de vuelta. ¡Es AJ Styles!
El fenomenal AJ Styles. El hombre que no pudo quitarle su campeonato intercontinental, pero se lo hizo por ahí buscando el Clash. Styles Clash. No.
This opened up the ring for Vikingo to hit Dom with his sweet ass 640 to retain his Mega Championship.
Completamente innecesario.
El hijo de Vikingo está reaccionando. Directo a la esquina. Vikingo va a volar.
Otra vez.
630 grados.
No se toma un paso al final para retener. 1, 2.
This match was a ton of fun and yet again showed the brilliance of Dirty Dom and Americano. What did take me back was the crowd reaction to Vikingo. Like, I know y'all don't give a fuck and y'all love Del Rio, but talk about a switch up. This man is literally going through his own personal big dog era at the moment. It's wild. I didn't see it coming, but I hope the fans come around to him. Fun show overall. I can't wait for the next big show, and lucky for us, it won't be too long as Worlds Collide heads to my neck of the woods in early September. And who knows, you might just see me there. With that being said, this episode of Watr comes to an end. Thank you for tuning in. I know that upon Big Rob's leave, I had revealed a floor plan for what the show was going to look like, but with recent changes, an update is due. Cinema Culture Club is a new show I'll be releasing on alternate weeks of Watr, so I'm not flooding your feeds. That would in turn make Watr the main show again and benching King's Court for now. Moving forward though, it'll be 1 week Watr, 1 week CCC. And who knows, maybe even the Culture Club boys will join me for Watr soon. That wraps it up for me though. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and go follow us on all our socials. Link will be in the description. We're being a lot more active on them lately, so go check us out. Till next week, I've been King Jess, and remember, the Shulafala isn't real. It can't hurt you.